Hey guys, this is the fourth or fifth time I've attempted to make this video. It's not an interesting topic, even to myself making the video, and I've been racking my brain on how to make this video interesting, and there's no way around it. I found one other video on this topic by Saint Tone. I'm sure he does a fantastic job. He does great videos. If you haven't subscribed to Saint Tone, probably should, especially if you want to know stuff about Lost Ark in general. But what's this video about? It's about hallucination versus nightmare. And specifically, I want to bring a light to a few resources that I have been brought to my attention in this last week when I've been having similar thoughts about how do I tell the community in a concise way, an interesting way, why you should be playing Hallucination versus Nightmare, what are the differences, where are the breakpoints, how does this all work? And I've been just struggling. That's why this is the fourth or fifth time I've been making this video. It is not an interesting topic. It says it right here. This is the most important thing. What is the reason to switch to hallucination set right now? Lower ceiling, higher consistency. What does that mean? If we scroll down to here, where we see hallucination versus nightmare with no keen blunt weapon. Anyway, you can see around, it says right here, 66.5% crit rate on nightmare. It will start to outperform hallucination. But that's without a keen blunt weapon. With keen blunt weapon, you have to get to 76% crit rate before it starts beating hallucination set, which is very hard to do in the current game state. In not too distant future, we are going to get bracelets, which will give us around 5% extra crit rate for having the precision, and all the supports will get us another 2% for having exposed weakness. And then you have crit synergy on top of that. So if we go back to here, it says we need to get 76%. We can get to about 60% with adrenaline, which means we need 17%. And we're going to get another 7% from the bracelet, probably a little bit more than that, probably around 9%. So we only need to get 8% crit synergy, which is pretty hard to do, even when Brel is out. However, we're also, once Brel gets out, we're going to start hitting the ceiling, which is when we hit 100% crit rate. As you can see right there, average damage plateaus because we've hit 100% crit rate, which means we can no longer do any good. Another thing this guide goes over is the engravings that you would want. Basically, it's saying you want to have adrenaline over cursed doll right here. Reason for that is to get closer to 81%, which is what you need for keen blunt weapon to be better than cursed doll or hitmaster. So what it suggests you to do is have adrenaline, keen blunt weapon, all out attack, grudge, and ignite. Those are your 5 engravings. I would suggest a different path. I would suggest right now having a necklace, having a earring and a ring be crit and the rest be spec. You'll lose a little bit of damage because you're reducing your spec from 1700 to around 1200-ish, but that'll give you an extra 500 crit, which is around 12% crit rate. It's not as good as the adrenaline 15%. I think it's 15%, right? Where was it? Yeah, adrenaline's 15%. But, you only have to hit 81%. And with the 12% extra crit rate, you will hit that, which you won't hit it on Nightmare. And yeah, that's saying it's 76. I think hallucination when you use it, because let's tell you the hallucination crit chances here. Yeah, right here. 25% level 2 becomes 30% at level 3, which is when Brel comes out. But right now, 25%, 25% plus 20% from your base crit level. That's around 70%. So you need to get an extra 12%. I recommend change one earring, one ring. You'll get that 12%. You'll get around 81 to 82% crit chance, which means your keen blunt weapon will be better and you don't need to have adrenaline. And that way you're not hitting the ceiling, because if you had adrenaline, you'll be hitting around 95% crit rate. You move like go full spec again, you'll be around 90% to 85%, which is still above the 81% like they want you to be. And then you start getting your crit synergy from your fellow party members pushing you to around 90%, which I think you're starting to get too high to the limit. Whereas if you have the two accessories changed to crit from spec, you'll have pretty close to the same damage you would with having adrenaline instead of, having curse stall instead of adrenaline, but you'll at least have more of a ceiling to get to before you hit 100%, which is what they're talking about here, where it's like around 85% crit chance is where you're starting to hit the ceiling. I think it's 85%. But anyway, once you hit the 100% ceiling, 100% crit rate ceiling, you need to like consider swapping back to curse stall because you get higher damage. Another guide that I've been using is this community guide. I don't like it for a lot of reasons, but there is no better, more comprehensive community guide out there than this guide. So if you want to look at this guide, it has lots of different builds, has all of the different igniter, including reflux casting, crit instant, swift reflux, has all of them. Plus has a bunch of different classes. It's all going to be in the description, but the main thing I wanted to talk about was just, should you be playing Hallucination? And the answer, quite simply, right now is yes. After Brel comes out, after the patch after Brel, probably not, but Igniter would probably start to edge out Hallucination. They say around 76% crit rate, which using their, ideas, you'll get around 60% with adrenaline, where you want to try and get to 76%. I don't know. You're dangerously close, especially once you get the bracelet. You'll be getting around 65%. So Hallucination does seem to be the winner even when the level 3 set comes out and the bracelets come out. It's up to you though in the end, because it's just play style makes more important. Why I personally prefer Hallucination over Nightmare is you don't have to use the Awakening to activate the damage. I always find it really annoying because you want to use your Awakening to generate spec for your, I should say meter for your ability to activate. But instead you could just not and use your Awakening to get generation when there's an open window, or you can use your Awakening to use stagger. It just gives you more options when you're playing Hallucination compared to Nightmare, because you have to use it either before you even go into the room, where it just 0 damage from your Awakening, just to activate your damage, or you do it in the room and there's a chance that you'll miss because the boss jumps away from you or some other thing. It's completely up to you. The resources are going to be in the description, all of them, even these JPEGs, because they're the outdated JPEGs. There's bard guides, there's just the bracelets, and I've got the whole thing in the description for you. It's very important. That's all I got for this video. I could go on, but I don't really have anything else to say. It's boring. Like, look at this website. It is just graphs and percentages and crit synergy, and Ugh. Ugh. Ah, personally, I think you should swap to Hallucination. Even if you're not running Keen Blunt and you keep the engravings you had from Nightmare, you'll probably be doing better. Because if we go down to the thing right here, it says Hallucination versus Nightmare, no Keen Blunt weapon. Where is the thing? 66.5%. And you can't really hit that unless you have adrenaline. So I don't know. And if you have adrenaline, you might as well have Keen Blunt weapon, or you might as well go Hallucination. It's just, I don't know. Leave a comment below if you are using Hallucination. Tell me how you've enjoyed it. I personally prefer Hallucination. If you're sticking with Nightmare, tell me why you're sticking with Nightmare. Maybe you really love seeing that huge, juicy crit. Which, don't get me wrong, I mean, like, look how much more average damage Nightmare gets. Like, it is noticeable. That's like a 3.5 there. So it's around 3.8 versus 4. That's a whole 1.2 extra damage. Well, it's 4.5, I should say. So it's not even that. It's, what is that? 3.8 to 4.5. That's 0.7. And that's huge. Huge when we're looking at a graph that starts at 1.5 and goes all the way up to 4.5. That's huge. But that being said, Hallucination wins hands down. There's probably going to be more differences when we're talking about level 3. This is level 2, so maybe the where you start beating an average damage goes down. Again, another thing to talk about is this is Lost Ark. Percentages mean jack shit. You've seen those stones. It says 25%. It lies. So you're always going to crit, no matter what. Just believe you'll crit. You'll always crit, even if you only have 50% crit rate. You'll always crit. You'll only get bad crits on the non-crits on the shitty stuff that you don't care about, you know? You'll always crit the big ones, and then you'll do more damage than Hallucination. As I said at the start of the video, why? Lower ceiling, but higher consistency. And that's it. Big shout out to Cleve, Adam. He loves it. Adam all day on Discord. Just pester the hell out of him. Hope you enjoyed this video. I didn't. I'll see you guys later. Fuck me.